Here at Boston College, from everything I can gather, the emphasis on a well-rounded liberal arts education is really what I've seen as the key to becoming successful at anything, because it's meant to broaden you and to teach you to think critically, to keep an open mind, how to weigh and consider and evaluate ideas. The problem with new media is that there are, generally speaking, so few standards, in some cases no standards. Now some of that is good because there's a little spirit of rebellion and there's a little spirit of anti-establishment and let's challenge this and shake things up. But just because you strike an anti-establishment tone doesn't mean you have anything to say. And the absence of accountability is truly frightening.
And I would like to know what has been the driving force behind that has motivated you to accomplish so much in your life, even throughout all the obstacles that you may have faced throughout your lifetime as well.
A lot of things fell in place for me professionally. I got my first job while I was still a student at Syracuse during my senior year, and I went shortly after that to St. Louis and worked at a big radio station there, and I was 22 years old, and I guess I must have had some ability to be able to take advantage of the opportunity, but the opportunity, if you put me back at square one, those opportunities probably wouldn't have fallen into my lap again. That part was random. They always say that that luck is when preparation and opportunity meet, and so maybe I was prepared when the opportunity came, and I was able to capitalize on the opportunity. I've run into a lot of young people who are extremely ambitious, and they're all about, okay, now I'm in Tuscaloosa, how can I get to Cincinnati? From Cincinnati, how can I get to Philadelphia? And from Philadelphia, how can I get to the network? And they're more about that than they are about becoming better. And eventually that's going to trip you up. The late Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan once famously said, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but you're not entitled to your own set of facts. We can view facts from different perspectives, but if we don't have reliable places from which to get credible, even-handed information, I mean, you're like into some like nihilistic world where there's really no distinction between truth and falsehood, between fact and even the most outrageous opinion. And where someone who just tosses something on the Huffington Post is the same thing as someone on the op-ed page of the New York Times. I don't want to live in that world. I don't know if you guys do, but that's not where I want to be. Now, what going against the tide is about trying to pull it back in the direction, not of old technology, but of old standards. Maybe the real revolutionaries are the ones who are going to say, wait a minute, they had it right, at least in this respect. They had it right before, and we're going in the wrong direction. And you might be mocked and jeered at for doing that, but that might be the gutsiest thing to do when you take your diplomas and head out into the real world. All right, thank you. Good being here.